Good evening, everyone. We have 7 o'clock. We're about to begin. Previous minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the last meeting minutes?
Motion that we accept the minutes as.
You want to unmute?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor accepting the previous meeting minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. 3-0. As we had Tom with us last Monday or last Wednesday for the budget meeting, he presented the numbers, and if you remember, he said he was not going to make it this evening for tonight's meeting. So we'll go past there. Anything else for the consent agenda on other? No? Excellent. Moving on to visitors. The Transition to Development Review Board. Is that you, sir? If you don't mind, come up, turn on the mic and state your name for the record, please.
Yep.
Wait, you have to turn on the mic first. Push to push. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. Say your name again for the record, please.
Luke Slumba, Northwest Regional Planning Commission, and Greta Brunswick from our office is here too on Zoom. Yeah, we got a request to come and sort of talk about the difference between a DRB and a ZBA and what the process is for transitioning from one to the other, since it seems like the town is interested in that.
Excellent.
And so I have some information here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
So, yeah, basically just going through what a development review board is versus ZBA. So development review board sort of takes the quasi-judicial functions from the ZBA and the planning commission and consolidates it into one board. So that means that that conditional use and site plan review are done by the same board, rather than being split up between the planning commission and the ZBA. So procedure-wise, the meetings are pretty much the same as a ZBA. The structure of the meeting and everything like that. Let's see. And then on the back, it just goes through the benefits and some of the benefits and drawbacks if this is a decision that the town is still considering. Basically, the benefits are that having one board leads to consistency among project reviews. It clarifies the roles and responsibilities of each body. So basically, with the DRB, the Planning Commission focuses solely on the legislative planning tasks, and the sort of site plan review function is done by the DRB. And it simplifies applicants only having to go to one meeting versus going to both the ZBA and the Planning Commission. Long term, it can lead to the streamlining of zoning bylaws in regards to site plan versus conditional use. And the Development Review Board can also complete local Act 250 reviews if other standards are also met. And on the drawback side, if there are a lot of applications that are all going to the DRB, it can be a lot, but that might not be. I don't know how many applications there usually are in Bakersfield, but and it can also, some of the ZBA members might not want to serve on the Planning Commission or DRB, so you would have to figure out basically like the structure of the new board and making sure that there are enough people who want to be on the DRB. There's no one on the ZBA.
No, that kind of little history. We had the ZBA in place. There were 3 members. 1 member moved out of town. The other one stepped down. So we used 2 of the select board members, Nikki and myself, to supplement for a review we had to do.
Uh-huh.
At the end of that process, our, I guess, chairperson of the board stepped down. They didn't want anything to do with it, and we were only temporary members. So right now, we don't have a true ZBA in place. And we could put one in place if we had to, I'm sure, in an emergency, but
Mhm.
what is it? Oh, here it is. So right now, there is no members of the ZBA unless we supplement something in an emergency situation with the select board and the planning commission again.
Mhm. So that's sort of the catalyst for wanting to move to DRB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the good thing is that you can have a lot of towns have a structure where the DRB and the planning commission have the same membership and they just meet like twice as often, and then they can separate out their planning commission meeting and their DRB meeting. That's something you could do, and then they would meet twice a month, and one would be the PC meeting, and one would be the the planning commission would still have to have a regular meeting in addition to the DRB meeting, I think.
The RB only need to meet if there were plans that needed to be approved.
Nikki, is your on?
It is, sorry. Sorry about that.
You want to repeat your question? Nick?
So the question was, does the planning commission meets monthly? And I asked if the DRB needs to meet if there aren't any applications that need to be reviewed.
I'm not sure. Greta, feel free to jump in at any minute if you're there.
We don't get one a month. I mean, in the summer we get more, but in the wintertime, we don't see any.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the DRB only needs to meet if they have business. And I mean, really, frankly, same with the planning commission, although it's important to it's important to have regular meetings throughout the year, and monthly is typical for a planning commission, certainly, in order to ensure that the municipality has a continuing planning process and is engaged in planning that would then lead to regional approval and confirmation of planning processes. But yeah, so if there's no applications to review, that was planning side, so that's planning commission. If there's no applications to review, then the DRB does not need to have a meeting. In some cases, DRB meetings are scheduled, on when there is business. It's a lot easier if you have a regular meeting date, and then as applications come in, they are placed on the agenda of the next regularly scheduled meeting.
And this is a assigned position via the select board, not something that is elected upon it during town meeting day, correct?
Correct, it's appointed.
It's appointed alone. Okay.
I believe Luke provided an example or a template resolution that the select board could use to essentially, there can be no DRB and ZBA at the same time. So as soon as you would resolve to create a DRB and appoint specific members to that board, the ZBA would cease to exist.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I'm being a little pessimistic here. If we cannot find members of the ZBA now, I'm not convinced we'll find members of the DRB either. So legally, what are our options? Does it default to the select board if we haven't got a sorry, always not going.
No, it does not default to the select board. I would recommend checking with your planning commissioners to see if they would be willing to also serve on the DRB. And then to essentially resolve to create a DRB and appoint all the planning commissioners to serve on the DRB. You could, at that point in time, now that you have DRB members and, have a functioning DRB so that if applications come in, you can act on them. I think that's like first priority. then you could potentially, and I guess I would recommend, maybe you get a planning commissioner to step up, but they're saying, I'll do this now, but ideally there's someone else that'll step up. You'll have some time to advertise and maybe find some other interested folks to serve that role. It really is helpful to also have a few alternate members so that you can ensure quorums for that quasi-judicial hearing process, and to make sure that you have, quorum to make majority decisions on applications, to make the process run smoothly.
Mhm. Yeah, so maybe that would be a good next step at the next planning commission meeting to check in and see if the planning commissioners would be willing to serve on the DRB if we move to that. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's Bill and Ken.
You have Bill, Heather, you have Ken there. You have the whole board's right here.
Yeah.
So we're missing one. We're just missing Gary's not on. So we're missing one individual.
And the membership for a DRB is 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have 5 planning commission.
5
members
to
right
9, according to this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, five at the minimum.
Well, maybe planning commission members, we can think about, if we sort of think about it individually. I know Heather has stepped down, so I'm guessing, Heather, you're not going to be, you don't have to answer this question. But, we can
I'm
discuss.
okay with going to DRB. I did not want to go back to the ZBA. The ZBA was only 3 to 4 of us, and nobody, the other members who were on it really didn't want to be on it. So it kind of, I wouldn't go back to the ZBA. I think the DRB is more modern, more responsible, because you have everybody training instead of training for the ZBA and then training separately for the planning commission. You just have one quasi judicial board. They get trained, everybody's trained together, and then the planning commission just creates the bylaws and templates, works on that. I'm fine with doing that. I just did not want to go back to the ZBA structure.
You and me both. Okay.
Do we have any other questions? Before I open it up to maybe Bill or Ken or?
I've heard that there are more towns going this direction now.
Mhm.
Have you had any feedback from those towns?
Like towns that have had experience with ZBA and DRB. Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely in most cases streamlines the process and makes things more efficient, and that's why you see a lot of towns going to a DRB. I think we only have a few towns in our region that still use the ZBA model, and I think DRBs are mostly what more towns are going to. Greta, I don't know, you've been around longer than I have, so I don't know if you've heard any feedback from towns that have switched over.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. Once a town switches over, I think they're fully happy with that process and that switch. I mean, most of those switches happened probably 10 years ago, or even longer. And so it really is the most common and modern way to function for municipal development review and planning. I think Franklin and Fairfield might be the only holdouts in our region. So yeah, and I think that is just because kind of, if I had to put words into their mouth, I think it just seems to be working for them, and there hasn't been a need to sort of change course. But I think I would recommend it. I think it makes sense. It streamlines the process. It clearly defines the roles. It's easier for applicants to understand. So that's my opinion.
Thank you.
Excellent. Bill, Ken, Heather, anything? You're muted, Bill, Ken, if you're going to talk.
I just think it's something we should discuss at the next planning commission meeting. It sounds like that's the next right thing to do. Seems, I mean, I know that ZBA last thing was pretty contentious, so that might be a deterrent to get people to want to be on that kind of board. So I don't know
Okay,
how
well,
you.
we gladly want to hear the planning commission's input on this as well. Bill, your
Yeah.
hands up?
Yeah, thanks. I was curious as to the work of the planning commission when there is a development review board. My understanding of it has been that the development review board would do the conditional use permits and then the subdivisions, and that planning commission would primarily work periodically to revise the town plan. And as such, it seems somewhat manageable for the planning commissioners currently to consider going to a development review board. But if there's going to be a need to meet potentially every month or some frequency like that for both the development review board and the planning commission, so that there's evidence of planning within the community, that might be a deterrent to having people serve, because again, you're back at the place where the ZBA is currently, and that is there's a reluctance to serve.
The planning commission is required to meet monthly, but the DRB only needs to meet when there's a need.
Since can I add to that? This is Greta again, because I think I did maybe mention monthly. There's no statutory requirement that a planning commission meet monthly. So I just wanted to clarify that. I think that the planning commission needs to meet regularly to make sure that the planning functions of the town are ongoing. But that doesn't have to be monthly. It can be whatever feels right for the town of Bakersfield, as long as there's evidence that, there should be, I would recommend maybe at least quarterly meetings, 4 times a year at a minimum, just to sort of show that you're checking in and talking about planning and checking in on how your planning process is working. How are those zoning bylaws being implemented? Are there any issues that you need to keep track of? That type of thing. How's your what are the various projects that are happening in your community? How's your plan being implemented? These types of conversations. And then the other thing I might note is, DRB hearings meetings can go long, so it's not always feasible, but you could potentially, if you have the same board, meet on the same night. That may not be feasible if you have, multiple hearings, and, those meetings can go long.
Thank you. That was helpful. I wanted to also ask, is there some sort of fact sheet that could be shared with the select board and the planning commission? It could be the zoning board of adjustment as well, that describes what the actual duties are, just some sort of bullet list, so that it would be easier for us, for example, when we meet as a planning commission next time, to review those together so that we have a little bit better deliberation about this. It's a very significant decision for the town and for the members of the planning commission.
Definitely. And Luke, I'm sure you could, speak to we have that information, and Luke would be able to provide that at the next meeting.
Yeah, I can bring this to the next planning commission meeting, and I can send it in advance too, so you have time to read it over. Yeah.
There technically, I don't even know if there's technically a ZBA board, because I think it's the 2 members that were on it were temporary, and I resigned. So as the head, so there is no ZBA. So unless you're planning on recruiting ZBA, I don't understand why this is even a discussion. It should just go right to DRB. But if you can find somebody else to be on the ZBA, you're talking 3 members and one of them's going to be the head, then this is an option. But other than that, I don't understand why it's even a discussion, to be honest. Just
I think it would be helpful to discuss it in the planning commission to decide, do we want both functions? What is the workload really going to be? I mean, I think there are some things we really need to, between the 5 of us, flesh out. I think you're right.
but the select board, right, they could decide to go to the DRB. It's just the planning commission has to decide if they want, the current planning commission wants to go to the DRB, or are you going to have to recruit for the DRB?
Yeah, but Heather, we obviously, we're all town entities and government, if you want to call it that. And, I'm sure I may be speaking out of turn, but I'm pretty sure I would speak for all the select board members that we would like to understand what the planning commission's thinking with this is as well, rather than just kind of say, hey, we're doing this. And if you guys don't want to do it, we're going to find 5 people to do it.
Absolutely.
So I think it's good to have a brief conversation amongst yourselves. And hey, if you come back and go, yeah, the 5 of us are willing to do it, makes our job easier on our side, right? We just don't want to say we're doing it because we can,
Right.
want to make sure.
Okay, so then the other choice would be then you have to recruit 3 ZBA members.
And I don't disagree with that. Either way, you recruit, if the planning commission says to us, we don't, this is too much, we're meeting already once a month, and yeah, we could probably put the DRB stuff at the end of the planning commission meeting or whatever, to kind of say we meet the requirement if there's anything to talk about. Either way, if the planning commission goes, we don't want to do this, we don't want to be on the DRB, we did it again, DBA, the DRB, then, then we have to recruit 5 people. So it's better to just kind of ask and see what you folks think, and it may just be as simple as the 5 of you go, yes, we're willing to do it. And it's easy enough for all of us.
Yeah, this is Bill again. I just say that if Luke can, in fact, bring us a couple of documents to the Planning Commission meeting the first Monday of January, we can all take a look at that. We'll put it on the agenda for review, and we can get back to the select board as to our perspectives on this. Obviously, it's a decision that the select board would make, and though we understand that it's important to hear from your planning commission what their perspectives are and what their potential interest in serving in this new set of functions is.
That sounds good to me. I can bring.
The only question I have, what happens if something comes into play within the next 30 days? I know it's a slim chance, but what are the requirements? What are the state requirements? Are we required to have an acting ZBA or, board, or right now? Like right now we don't, we've dissolved.
Right. And so I can speak to that. There's not a requirement to have, like, there's the ramifications would be that applications would essentially be deemed approved because of inaction, like no decision. So my recommendation would be to, as quickly as possible, at least get interim board members to be appointed so that you can have either a functioning ZBA or DRB in case there are applications that do come through.
I'm sure we could put one together if we had to. In an emergency situation, I'm sure we could get 1 or 2 people from this board and 1 or 2 people from hopefully planning commission and fill out a ZBA in an emergency scenario.
Yeah.
My concern is, and it's what actually was what I thought was the huge crux, the huge issue with the ZBA, is you go to DRB, is there going to be training? Because there was 0. We're flying by the seat of our pants, trying to do as best we can, talking to legal and costing the town money on the legal side. And even that wasn't accurate from what we were told from the legal side, trying to cover all this stuff. And the concern I have is we say, okay, we're going to DRB and we just, again, let them float out there until
Yeah.
something happens and we're unaware.
Yeah, NRPC is definitely able to provide, specific and directed training to individual towns as needed. So, if that is something the town of Bakersfield need, we can work with the board to tailor individual trainings. We can come to Bakersfield meetings and give those trainings, in one night or over the course of several nights. That's definitely something that our PCs are here for, and we can definitely do that.
Excellent. That,
Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
That's key.
Any other questions for our planning commission team here? The regional, I mean?
Just
No?
the ZBA, is that minimum of 3?
Yes.
Okay. But then you still have to have, yeah, okay.
You need some kind of,
You're just still gonna have to have a full planning commission. I think from what I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, it would go from the planning commission meeting monthly to the DRB meeting monthly, and then meeting maybe 3 times or 4 times a year as a planning commission. So is that what I'm understanding you said, Greta, is that it would kind of flop?
Yeah, so that's how often I would recommend that a planning commission, would need to meet when they don't have an active project. I think that where things can get a little tricky, when there's entire complete overlap between planning commission and DRB members, is when there is like a bylaw or a plan project where they're doing a major rewrite. That's when things might get a little bit busy for the planning commission board, because they would be needing to meet more regularly to do that type of a project in addition to the DRB hearing. I think the ideal setup would be to have I think that to get things going right now, it makes sense if there are planning commissioners that are willing to step up to the DRB to have there be like overlap. But an ideal setup that maybe you would work towards would be only 1 or 2 members that were serving on both boards, because there are those situations when planning commissions do have those projects and it can get busy. So I think that, yeah.
Yeah, like for example, the planning commission's meeting monthly now to work on the town plan update. But if there's not necessarily a project like that going on, it could be, less frequent, like quarterly meetings. But yeah, like Greta said, if a project like a town plan update or a zoning bylaw update overlaps with a lot of applications coming in, that's the situation where it could get busy. But both planning commission meetings and DRB meetings can just be as needed.
So you can switch the DRB to as needed. It doesn't have to be monthly.
Yeah, the DRB just needs to meet
Oh.
if there's business.
That's perfect then.
Right, yeah. So I would say that you would have a regularly scheduled meeting, but if there's no applications that are coming in, the DRB wouldn't meet. That meeting would essentially be canceled. There'd be no hearings that were scheduled for that night.
Yeah.
So if there's no hearing if there's no hearing, do we have to put a 48-hour notice to cancel it if there's no hearing scheduled, or do they just assume that people know? Like, what are the requirements for cancellation?
So if the meeting hearings have specific requirements on how they're noticed, right? So if there's no hearings noticed for that meeting, then there's no, you don't have to do anything extra to cancel it.
Okay, perfect. I like this. Thank you. Sorry, I have a lot of questions. I just want to make sure I understand it all correctly.
No problem.
So our next meeting, the next planning commission meeting is January 5th. Luke, is that something you could come to?
Yeah, definitely. I was planning to be the one for town plan stuff. So yeah.
So we as a planning commission can discuss this further at that meeting, and then with any luck, bring something to the select board on the 12th.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? with regards to this subject matter? Well, thank you for both for attending, you personally, and Greta, you on the on Zoom. We appreciate you coming out tonight. And,
Of course.
Yeah, I think so some of the planning commissioners also maybe wanted to discuss the zoning bylaw update that was done and just talk about that and make sure that everything was done
Sure.
according to the correct procedure. So usually in most cases, zoning bylaw updates are done from the planning commission first, and there's a planning commission public hearing, and then they're sent to the select board. Select boards can adopt interim zoning bylaw updates if there's a specific like emergent need that needs immediate addressing, but there needs to be sort of like documentation of that need. And I think there are some planning commissioners that weren't aware that there's a zoning bylaw update going on.
We put it out there.
Mhm.
I'm surprised that they didn't know, whomever it is. We deemed that an interim bylaw was required.
We're not hearing you guys.
Can you hear me now, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. We deemed the need for an interim bylaw change regarding the wording with the height of structures within the town of Bakersfield's or the municipality of Bakersfield because we were actually taken to court and there was a long, almost year-long battle over this. So we put an interim change in to just remove the verbiage that enables people to put a variance against the 35. We didn't remove the 35 foot. We didn't make it 40. We didn't make it 30. We removed the variance and the, what was the other portion? Two of them, variance and conditional use. We removed those because, until we actually go in and rewrite the bylaws, which haven't been touched, as far as I can tell, in over 7 years.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the bylaws are pretty darn stagnant to begin with. They need to be looked at and updated. Some of them are back from 2000. The dog bite bylaw is pretty darn old. These bylaws need to be reviewed and updated. And if that's the planning commission, that's perfect if they want to put together something. But in this case, we felt that, and then correct me if I'm wrong, my two counterparts, we felt that there was an emergency need to correct this before we had people looking for the loophole that was put in place with the verbiage that was there.
We
Mhm.
didn't have sufficient parameters, and what the new bylaws is very specific about where the measurements are taken.
Does that answer?
It is an interim. It's until we
Yep.
have the formal process to adopt the bylaw. So it was done as an emergency situation.
Does that answer or alleviate the concerns of what we did?
The only other question I have about it is there was some reference to antenna tower height that came up in a conversation outside of the planning or select board meetings. It was just a conversation among residents. And I was surprised to hear that that was a part of the change, but maybe it wasn't, given how you.
It
It's
was
not.
not.
That was never touched, Bill. That actually remains the same as it was written originally in the bylaws in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification you guys made, and helps me understand completely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Can I just say that I really appreciate the select board doing this. This is what caused the ZBA like a year-long heartache. And for me, many nights of crime because I had to tell a neighbor they couldn't do something because our bylaws were unclear. And it cost the town a ton of money. It cost a lot of us a lot of heartache. And in friendship, I drive by and wave to those people and they refuse to wave to me. And it unfortunately ruined a relationship that didn't have to if the bylaws were more clear from the beginning. to them and there would be no exceptions. So I appreciate the change, you guys taking it on and making the change, at least it makes the next case a little easier.
Absolutely.
Could I just add one thing? This is
Yes, go ahead.
Greta again, sorry. Sorry to interrupt. I couldn't find my hand. I'm on my phone to raise my hand. I just wanted to say that, and as I'm sure you're aware, that the interim bylaw has a period of effectiveness of 1 year. So that gives the planning commission a year to look at making those changes permanent through the traditional bylaw adoption process.
And our understanding, Greta, is that there was some discussion about this would have to go to town meeting day to be voted on, any changes, but Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, we found out that's not the case, that the commission just has to implement the change. Is that accurate?
Correct. The town can, select boards, the way statute is written now, is that the select board can either adopt the bylaw or choose on a case by case basis on whether they'd prefer to have those bylaws go to Australian ballot.
Perfect. Any other questions or concerns? Todd, welcome. We know you were on an emergency call, so thanks for going out in the cold night. Thank both of you for being here again.
Yeah, no problem.
You have a wonderful evening, careful driving, and try to stay warm on that ride home.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Planning Commission, for joining. Absolutely. Very great. Linda, are you here as a witness, or do you are just watching the proceedings, or you have something specific? Well, come on up as soon as, I'm sorry, your name was Luke?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? As soon as Luke vacates the area. Take your time, Luke. I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
A quick question.
Absolutely. Can you, we all know you, but can you state your name, please?
Okay. Coming on behalf of the Cemetery Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back in May, the situation came up where, the gentlemen that were cutting trees and all of that were parked at the end of Academy Lane, dumping chips down there. And discussion about, in exchange for that, they were going to cut some trees.
Yes.
And just asking if they have a plan to do that at a later date, or did they skip town?
No, they're still going to do it, but they haven't given us a date.
Okay,
Now, we want to acknowledge, we did touch on this the last meeting, we received the email. So just so
Okay.
you know, we did touch, but
very good. I didn't see it in the minutes, so I wasn't.
And we did mention if they don't cut those trees, there will be a charge for storage.
that's right. That was,
And dumping.
yep. And that was the
Okay.
discussion we had last week.
Discussion.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Were you made aware that, what is it, next Monday, 6:15, we are having another budget meeting, and we've requested at least one or two representatives from each group requesting budgetary items show up, just not to present, but in case we have questions.
And that the budget request is a detailed budget request, not just
Yeah,
a
we need-
one line, we'd like this much.
Okay,
Please.
Just, I wanted,
If you
that's
could.
why, because I know,
we had a one-liner.
yeah.
That'll be fine.
To be fair, make sure you have a chance to correct it, that's all.
Okay,
Okay?
we'll
Wait,
itemize it. Very good. I'll hit the button.
Yep. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
All right. Any other visitors? Comments? No, we're down to roads. Come on up, Alan. Take the hot seat. Evening.
Evening, sir.
Make sure you turn on your mic. And of course, state your name.
How are you?
Good.
Alive and well, thank you.
Me too.
What do you have for us tonight?
What's that?
What do you have for us tonight?
I have for you, I think, did you get the paperwork for the permits for the Whitney culvert by any chance? I think Max said he was gonna send them your way.
I'll have to look. Did you send them,
Not sure, but I'm not sure on this. But it's not no big rush, but at some point we'll have to get them signed
okay.
and
I'll
get
take-
those back. And but other than that, it's been an interesting week.
I did get your correct pager number. The fire department had the old pager.
Don't have one? Yes.
But just to make you aware, Enosburg Group did come up and sand the road for it.
Yep. Feel free to.
And I knew, I said, he's probably not home. He's been working for it like 24/7.
I was actually.
Al, Al, can you back up a little bit from your mic?
Are you there?
Just a tit tad.
How about that?
That's perfect.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I just wanted to make you aware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
For future, if you'd like, try my cell phone.
I don't think I have it. That's.
I can certainly get it to you. I think the pager, you know, I think is decent, but I also think it might be slightly outdated. Whereas, because you know, pager, I'm going to get the number, then I'm going to have to go somewhere to make the call.
Yep.
Where if I might be able to save some
Get yourself.
time. Other than that, things have been a little iffy with trucks. Speaking on trucks, I would like to, I know you guys probably don't want to discuss it without Josh here, but we really need to think about ordering a smaller truck, whether it's the 550 or a Dodge version. I mean, the thing's probably going to be a year out.
We talked kind of at length about that last week. And we all agreed that it's needed. And to go probably we're looking at G Stone's quote, I think is what Josh referenced, because they have them in stock.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a matter of pushing the button to make
Right. I did
answer your questions, which were maintenance issues, right? Maintenance cost. If we
Right.
get the old truck.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. The truck as we speak, right, is down. The truck one is in limp mode. Far as that's our truck we salt with. Today I went up the steep hills with the tandem with chains on it. And it's definitely nerve wracking because I've slid back last week a few times. We had problems with that one, and now this other truck is giving us problems. So it's we got to think about something. You know, and I understand it's money, but it's like I said, there might even be a year out with the thing. And the new tandem, supposedly they were supposed to have it by Thanksgiving, and now it's been pushed back. They're waiting on a box for it. So it's like, I feel like it's going on almost 3 years. Like they put us on the back burner for buying a truck.
This time of year, I know they were honest and they said maintenance comes first to the trucks that are being used.
Right.
And so we do get pushed back occasionally because of that as well.
Yeah, and and again, I understand it's money. You guys have hired me to do a job, and I am all for doing that job. But if I don't have the equipment, then I can't safely keep these roads clean. So it's.
Use logic on us, Alan.
Yeah.
Use emotion.
But,
So where are we as far as our budget? And I know we kind of ad hoc talked about it at one point.
We haven't looked at the road budget yet. I think that's this, and then next Monday.
So maybe that's something that we can discuss at the next business meeting.
You're coming to the budget meeting, it's your portion.
Sure. I mean, even if we could talk to them and get the thing ordered for us under the condition that if it's something we don't want, that we don't really have to purchase it. I'm not sure if there's something that,
They might even take the old truck. They're just not going to give us one.
How recently did you send that to me?
Recently, maybe today.
I haven't got it yet.
Nothing yet. Okay.
You
Nothing
remember-
from Tyler or nothing from Mac.
Okay.
You remember how long that quote was good for that we did get from Stone's? It's gone by.
Yeah, I think it was only like 30 or 60 days.
So can you, for our budget meeting, is there any chance that you might be able to get a new quote?
A new one and see.
Yep.
Now,
It would be good.
Yeah.
The commercial side, if you.
Right, G-Stone.
G-Stone.
I did talk to the mechanics at Valancourt about the new Fords, and they really kind of trudged at them. They said we
I'd
wouldn't.
Stay with the 550, not 600.
Yeah, they're saying we wouldn't lean towards the Ford, but G-Stone also sells Dodge,
Yep.
and there were some high marks
Yep.
for Dodge.
That may have been.
It's
the
not
Dodge.
surprising.
So, and right, I mean, I like Dodge, by all means, but we definitely we gotta get something rolling because we're going to, you know,
Key thing is next Monday is a good time. I think that you're gonna be here for, somebody should be here for the roadside and that. would be
Yep.
you. Because we need to understand what your budget is and look for your numbers.
Bakersfield,
Right?
Yeah, 6:15.
6:15.
okay.
So we could discuss it, get together, whatever you need. You got all week, you know.
Yep.
We have 4 more business days or 5 technically
Yep.
Monday to try. I know you're busy, but to try to get a refresh quote on those Dodges. And we'll go from there.
I don't see an actual, well, time of review, but I'm not seeing an actual date that this doesn't
Like a 90-day.
like a 90-day or anything. And they quoted both on the Ford 550.
Yep.
They quoted on a 5500 Ram. I think that was the two that they had. Both were in the ballpark of 120.
Yep.
Basically.
And that's including the.
That's including all, that's
body,
fully.
Everything.
Yep, ready to go.
That was stainless steel box.
Stainless steel, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And Josh said that they had some in stock. We talked about it. the
Mhm.
other day.
So I mean, the key is we can look at what we're finding a little bit is the funds that weren't spent this year.
Right.
We'll have to look at what you spent, what was asked in the budget that Mac had last year, what was spent, and what's really in your fund.
Right.
And we can figure this out a little, but we'll know Monday.
Yep. Awesome.
What else, Shannon?
That's it.
Guys, you're doing great work on the roads. I know you're having problems, but you know, again, I think this is the second year I've said this in a row. 2 guys doing the job at 3. Oh, no, you got Mac.
We got Mac.
Okay, that's true. But still, you guys are doing a good.
Yep. It's
So-
definitely,
You trading that Marky's old truck either and getting what we can get because.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
and I mean,
That's been my concern.
it's, like I said, we had a hydraulic line go on it last week and it was just, it was a challenge to replace it. And I've been underneath that thing for a couple of years and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, it's going to give us some major problems. It's gonna-
25,000 for it. That cuts 25,000 off the purchase. price.
Right. And being 4-wheel drive,
Yeah.
somebody might,
Yep.
somebody will want it and
Get 5,000. I don't know what it's worth.
cut our losses and
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just say this out. If you're making bills on a vehicle more than a car payment,
right.
it's time to let it go, you know, on a monthly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I was saying before, it is down right now and I contacted Allegiance because we have a scanner and I'm pretty good with vehicles. I've been scanning it and it has multiple problems. So I contacted them, sent them the information and they don't even know when they could get the truck in.
No, this is a bad season.
So we're,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I would say let's put that on the agenda, Tammy, for next meeting.
Well, it's a budget meeting.
Yeah,
so
no, but I'm saying the next full meeting,
next fall meeting.
Yeah.
So we can actually take.
which would be the 20-something or
22nd.
22nd. So if we can put that on the 22nd, that would be great.
For the 22nd about the truck.
Yep. Make a decision on what we want to do.
Okay.
I mean,
It's on the ballot.
the other thing with our budget is we can absorb a monthly payment versus down, you know what I'm saying, all at once payment.
Road work.
So road work.
That's the other thing to kind of look at, right? What we did on the fire.
Sorry, we're fixing
That's fine.
Just for clarification.
Yes, sir.
When they did the paving, they hired work safe traffic controllers. That's being billed to us.
I'm not sure.
That should be part of the contract.
Yeah, that should be part of theirs. That shouldn't be billed to us.
Say that.
I don't know what this is because it's also got delinquent. It's got Kathy's hours up here too. There's Tammy.
Yeah, but there's salt zero.
Oh, okay. I hate the way these forms look.
I know.
So
Yeah,
it's
the-
all just works traffic.
Yes, we're being billed $10,577 for work safe traffic controller.
I wonder if they paid us and they were supposed to bill the company.
That
Well,
could
that's
have been
why-
under the quote.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
that
if
is-
They mailed the bill to us and thinking it was us.
Right.
Sure, we should, you already signed it, didn't you?
I would,
I
yeah.
didn't sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
that-
strike your names and have
that's-
to figure out what it is.
That would definitely be part of their quote on
Yeah.
that. It has nothing to do with us.
We didn't hire them.
Right.
No contract with us.
Yep.
Yep, they're all
It's all empty. Yeah, what it was, what drew my attention is it said MERP at the top, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with MERP, so I didn't sign it. That's why.
Sounds good to me.
Just
I would strike.
run a line
Hey,
through it and
Kathy,
initial it.
Tammy, we are not signing the one warrant that had MERP at the top of it. We don't know what it's for. It's definitely not MERP, and we don't believe we should be being billed for it. What's there. Thank you. Alan, back to you, my friend.
Sir.
What else? Good job on the snow.
Oh, you guys are doing a heck of a job
Yep.
considering it.
You
The new
wanna,
guy at Long?
do you,
What's that?
Is the new guy hired yet?
there you go. That was my next piece.
I contacted him
Yeah.
and I left the ball in his court and haven't heard a peep from him. So no news could be good news. I mean,
Till tomorrow.
I certainly
Yeah.
can give him another call and
And tell him we need to
Snow
know.
or,
I think it's a home phone.
let's give him another shot. See if
It's what it sounds like.
see if we can get him on the horn and
I would just say we
oh, this
need
is
to
his.
know-
Here, I took it out for him. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say within the next 48 hours, we need a decision. Because we can't keep,
Here, you could toss it back.
does that mean advertising?
I mean, and I kind of like the guy too. I think he
that's what I'm
would,
saying.
you know, I think he would fit in well. It's just one of those things where
And it's not what he wants now.
I think we could interview 20 people and maybe get one.
Yeah, no, I thought he was,
No, I agree.
I
I
don't
thought both kind of were, so.
I don't
Do
understand.
we have any questions for Alan?
I don't have any more.
Did you guys see on the folder with the applications for the job, there was a note on the top? Riley,
Yeah, don't
he,
say the name.
he's called over and over again, wanting to talk to someone. He was one of your first interviewees. He's called the office like every week.
Which
Okay.
one,
That's
which one?
the
Was
second
that
guy.
the Riley,
It's
the
like-
first name, or Riley, the last name?
It's right on that. I paper clipped it to the front of that folder. Logan Riley, maybe?
Yep, okay.
I know
And-
he's the second person we interviewed.
Yeah.
He's called over and over again and he can't get anybody from the select board to respond to him.
Well, who's he calling? He hasn't called me.
The office, the town office. And then we had him call the garage. Mac told him to call Josh.
Right, so,
And I don't think Josh ever got back to him, so he called the office again. So we wrote it down and I paper clipped it to the front of that folder that has the applications in it.
it's not there anymore. Hey, just, if you want, reach out to Riley and give him my cell phone number.
I know, but that's got his number on it. That's
No,
what
it's
it
gone.
is.
The note's
It's not
missing.
here.
It's
a
not
go.
flipped on there anymore? Well, Logan Riley, his application's in there.
Oh, we found it.
I found it.
We can call, we'll call.
Okay.
Is this the only one I signed or this is
That's road. I didn't see anything else. Was there only one road? There was only one
Only one.
road.
Yeah.
Look
Got
at the
your
top.
got your salaries on it?
no?
You guys ain't being paid this week?
No.
Savings.
There
We're
was one
saving
just
money.
for, there was one just for a truck.
Yeah, I got that one. That's tricky.
I didn't see salary. I didn't even.
Oh, they're not getting paid this week? Good.
They'll pay.
Save some money.
That'll make them happy. Get ready for snow. It's gonna be blown back on the road somehow.
Right here.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't, did I sign that? Did I miss it?
Yeah.
4 signatures?
Yep.
Okay, what was it, Matt? Was added in with Kathy's and all? I didn't even realize it. Okay. Moving on. So board business, police contract overview. I think we keep tabling this, correct?
Yep, table that one.
Tabled update MERP, there's no update. Short-term rental ordinance update.
The only thing I was looking at there is I did contact the gentleman who took my job at the state.
Yeah.
And they don't have a way to pull short-term rentals off their system without knowing the actual address. So my thought is maybe we just simply ask people to register with us to know who the owner is. if
Voluntary
nothing else,
registration.
yeah, just like a free rental. So we know who owns the property and the listers may be able to help us with that as well. Cause I'm sure they must know what's short-term rentals versus residentials.
My pen back out.
That makes sense, Tammy?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I agree with the
Well-
gentleman who was here last week. I don't think I don't want to make it a money-making thing,
No.
but it's more of a good information gathering.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we know that. I'll have to look into that, cause,
We may have to create an ordinance that just says
yeah.
that we're
They need to
requesting.
Yeah, we're
They need to
requiring
register.
the
Need to register with the town.
Yep. So it's just,
warrants. Is there anything else on short term?
no,
Anybody?
that's all I had.
No? Okay, moving on. Warrants and reports have already been circulated. Planning grant update.
That doesn't need to be on there, I don't think.
Tammy Strike, planning grant update, please.
On.
Road crew job post, we already had it. Thanks, Alan, for the update. Brigham Academy.
Other than requests for information, nothing.
Good.
Man,
We reviewed the mail there and you guys are more than welcome to look at it, but
Oh,
there's
good.
nothing that's different than was at the last meeting. It's all this, nothing new as far as I could see. Tammy, did I miss something in there that's new in the mail? I didn't see anything. Unmute Tammy. Tammy,
Tammy,
unmute.
your lips are going, but we can't hear you.
Want to watch you talk to yourself.
Sorry about that. I don't think so. I can't think of anything specifically that was,
I didn't see anything.
yeah.
Everything looked the same. All right, so others, any others?
No,
Going?
nobody's
Okay, I
here.
have one quick other.
Yeah.
I came in and I sent a message to everybody, just as an FYI. I came in and I reviewed Kathy's
Oh,
PC in the
yes, I did
office.
see that. Yep.
It will not be able to take Windows 11.
Okay.
The CPU is
Yep.
not new enough, powerful enough, is the main. There's two reasons, but really that is the main. Kathy was saying, well, we'll look at the budget for next year. We had like 80, she has like $4,000 in the budget. This thing's gonna cost less than $1,000.
Let's get a
Oh, wow.
good,
So
let's,
let's get it
yeah,
ordered now.
and get a good one that's gonna last a little bit. The
Yeah, but
7
that-
years it should last. Right?
That one lasts, I think, did I hear it was 2009?
That's
So
been there a
that's,
while. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
no, and it can still go if it wasn't gonna cancel on Windows,
Right.
10 support. So
I would
I'll
support
try to
that.
find one. Kathy's asked for a small factor. She said she doesn't need a new monitor. She doesn't need any of that. She just needs
Just
the
needs a
PC.
tower itself for the laptop.
Exactly. Now, what's going to possibly cost some money besides the actual computer, because she wants a small factor tower.
Right.
What's going to cost us some money is the support that she's going to need to talk to like SimQuest to get her programs reloaded
Yeah.
and everything moved around. But even that's only a couple $100. I don't see.
budget already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's, I think.
But she needs it to operate, so that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
a daily operation issue, right?
she had $4,000 left in
But it's
budget.
Kathy's budget, so
Right.
you can spend it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Good.
So
Go
we'll
for it.
pick something out. I'll find something that's decent that'll get her hopefully another 10, 12 years.
Okay.
Whatever it was, 14, 15 years. Any others?
No, I make the
Entertain
motion.
motions.
I made the motion, we adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mickey seconded it.
Yes, she did. It's 4-0, 4-0. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you coming on.
Have a good night.
Stop the recording. Bye.